August. I've done well. I know the date and the time, so that's always a good start. And I thought I would have another crack at coming to you from the porch today. So you may hear some random car noises and some dog noises and all sorts of things, but it is a much warmer day here today. So I thought I'd mix things up, and I'm feeling very pink today. I decided to don the pink for two very good reasons. One of the good reasons is because I have the most delightful and exceptional Diana McDougall from Perfectly Imperfect Twists with me, and she made me this absolutely glorious shawl. Oh, I think a couple of years ago now you did this for me, which is wonderful. And I've got a wonderful brooch here as well. So I've got everything. And also too, she did this because she knows that this hot pink is one of my favorite colors, and it's also can pink, and can would have officially, the full program would have kicked off today. So I am channeling the positivity of the pink today, and you and I, without any consultation, are looking very color coordinated.
We are. Oh, the camera is the other way, so I'm going to be very silly showing my stuff on here. Hi, everybody.
Hi, and everyone is coming in this morning. Good morning, everybody. It is so good to see you. And it was so funny because I was messaging with Diana earlier in the week, and she was asking me something else, and I said to her, I've got a better idea. I'll get you onto the Quarantine Diaries on Friday. And I hadn't realized that Patrice, who I had on Wednesday, is a good friend of yours, and she is a regular visitor to the Cabana. So she was so excited as well that you were coming on Friday. So to kick us off, tell us a little bit about yourself. I am intrigued, Diana. I want to know how a girl gets all the way from Europe to the deep south. So start us on that journey. How did that work?
Okay. Well, before I start that, because I get very distracted and I will forget what I wanted to say. Look what I found. I found some glasses, and these ones, they feel a bit more expensive than the $2 shop ones. So I think they might be the ones what I had made in Europe for computer use. So they could be those. But I want to say something very serious first. So if I put this on, I might look half normal or serious. So I just want to thank you, Marie, for being here pretty much every day at 11 o'clock, regardless of what's going on behind your doors or out the doors. So we do appreciate that. And, just you bring this gorgeous smile, and just it's a reassurance we are going to be fine.
Yeah.
So thank you. And obviously wanted to thank all the essential workers. And I know there are a few around us as well. And, while we are whinging and complaining about being locked inside, they are facing the reality. So I do want to thank them. And just some of them, I was just talking the other day with somebody, and they were lonely at home in their own bubble. So I feel for them too.
Yeah.
So as much as sometimes we want to kill people from our bubble, or did I say that loud? Sorry.
I'm sure he won't be watching.
We are still very lucky to have support. So
yeah, and that's just it. I know so many that tune into the Quarantine Diaries every day are in solo bubbles, and
exactly.
And it is just the one little thing that I can do is if it means that it's the one anchor point in somebody's day, well, I think that's always a good thing. It is,
and I'm sure I'm not the only one who believes that. So thank you so much, Marie. So, but going back to your question,
yes.
This year in November is going to be 20 years since I called New Zealand home.
Wow, that's an amazing anniversary.
I do have two homes. I don't know when I'm going to see the second home, Romania. It's my first home, but it is a very, very weird story. And if looking at it now, I can't believe how crazy I was. So I was always crazy. So I met my husband online. I came for a holiday.
So did I. So, and probably about this, I know, and that would have been back in the days when it wasn't fashionable to do so, Diana.
Exactly. So it was all started with a joke. But anyway, I said, I'll come for a holiday. And I came, and obviously we met, and he cast a spell on me. I'm pretty sure he did. And then here I am 20 years later talking to you in English about knitting.
Yay, that's fantastic. So have you always knit? I mean, did you learn to knit in Romania?
I did. I learned to knit in school. So knitting was part of my life pretty much all my life, but on and off. And I learned to knit in school, those times the girls are doing the knitting and the boys all the woodwork or whatever. And it's so funny because my recollection of knitting was a very long, a very holey scarf.
Mm-hmm.
Holes, but they were unintended holes.
Yeah.
And just the other time when I went back home and I was talking to Mom about it, no, you made a pink hat and I wore it so many times and so long. I can't remember the hat, but I remember this long, weird looking, very asymmetrical. Maybe that's why I love lace and asymmetrical, going back to my beginnings. But then, obviously the knitting was put away for the side. And I do remember I knitted quite a bit in my university years, just mainly because, you see, I grew up during the communist years.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't find in the shop such a large selection. So if you wanted to wear something different, you made your own wardrobe.
Yeah.
And I had a very weird wardrobe. I remember in the university years I was very colorful. But
so
I'm still very colorful.
So when did that, because when did that end for you? Like, did the communists raise them? Because that was Ceausescu.
That was in the 1989, December 1989.
Wow, you forget it's as late as that.
Oh, it is so long ago. But
I know, gosh.
Saying that, you see the 90s, the very early 90s, when I was still living in Romania, it was a very weird sort of period, because it was a lot of changes, but it was a bit of chaos as well.
Yeah.
But in saying that, because they were my university years and everybody has fun when you're a student.
Yeah.
So I don't really recall the bad parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I suppose that's good. But
well, and I think the world at that time too was going through such a tremendous amount of flux, because I just remember, like in 1989, I went to the US as a student, and I finished high school here and then went to the US for a year there. And coming from New Zealand, which was incredibly isolated, and I think we'd gone nuclear free a handful of years before, and it was, what else? And I came across, I mean, two big things I remember when I was in the US was, one is the Berlin Wall came down. And so that was, I think, early 1990. So it was, it was
89 years, and that's when it was the whole
everything,
whole
wasn't it? Yeah.
Open, yes, and the whole East, I suppose, was completely changing. And there were massive changes, but obviously after a dictatorship, but it's a lot of unknowing.
Yes, exactly. But also too, because I mean, if you came to New Zealand only a handful of years later, I mean, in a way, that freedom probably, so it wasn't a crazy decision. It was kind of like, well, actually, I can do this now if I want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, it's so funny, Marie, because of my sort of education and sort of jobs what I had, I traveled quite a wee bit in Europe after the revolution. And I never, ever considered staying in a different country.
Yeah. Well, home's still home, isn't it? So
it's just so weird, but I'm happy here. So
now, Jeannie's asking, what were you studying at university?
You will not believe. Anybody wants to have a guess? Patrice knows. Law.
Oh, stop it.
So from the law sort of things coming to farm, it was a bit of a change.
I'm going to say, so how was that culture shock going from what was an incredibly diverse Europe at that time, going through a lot of change, traveling as a graduate, then coming down for this holiday to New Zealand, being swept off your feet with this farmer? And I think you're in the deep south. I know that you're just outside of Winton.
Yes, just north of Winton, about 10 minutes north of Winton.
Exactly. So that is south.
We were always in Southland and always on a lifestyle blog. And initially I was thinking, goodness me, such a boring place, but was after a very stressful sort of job what I had, it was a very good, peaceful, it was very, if I can call it peaceful, yeah, it is peaceful. And obviously living in the city, you can imagine me with cows. I've got so many stories, but I don't want to bore you now, but it's just, I've been absolutely ridiculous. But my first encounter, I probably told you, my first encounter with the electric fence was shocking, but literally shocking. I've never seen electric fence before, and I wasn't aware of this. And I remember when I moved with my husband, we were in Lockyer, just between Winton and Invercargill at that stage. We had chickens on a paddock next, sort of closer to the house, but a bit further. And I went to feed them, and we had some cattle. But at that stage, steers or bulls, they were all the same for me. And, when you have hand-reared cattle, they are all very nosy and friendly and coming to see you.
Yep.
And obviously, this lot, there were probably about 6 or 7, I can't remember how many. They saw me and they come rushing. And when you see a beast, I don't know, 3, 4, 500 kgs, I don't know, they were probably close to 2 years running, I ran. And if it was to break a world record of running, I think I did for 50 meters. I don't think I've ever run that fast. And then I jumped over a fence, but holding the fence, electric fence, and threw me in a freaking cabbage tree. And since then, it was just shocking, as I told you, literally shocking. So that was one of my very, very first farm adventures. So I've got so many other stories, but for another time probably.
So you get back, you get to New Zealand, and when did you decide once you got here to pick the needles up again?
It's quite funny because I didn't touch the knitting needles for, I'll tell you exactly when, 13 years ago.
Wow.
Because my brother and my sister-in-law in England, they were having twins. And they came quite early. So they came before the time, a couple of months before. So I was thinking, I have to knit them something, the little pram babies. So I knitted some little tops for them and hats and beanies and all. They were so tiny. And then pretty much the same like Helen yesterday, I just realized, hold on, I actually enjoy knitting. So I started to look for a wee bit of yarn, and I realized the New Zealand yarn is so delicious. And so knitting slowly crept back into my life. So
and babies do that, don't they? That's where babies are incredible. I mean, that is, like, as somebody who sells yarn, that's the one we talk about, sort of what is the occasion or the vector that gets people knitting again, and babies are number one. That's the one thing that will have people dusting off needles and casting on, and it's or dusting off crochet hooks and slipping on stitches. So I can completely understand that. And that was actually very same for me as well. Like, I went through a phase that I knitted, and then I sort of literally almost didn't knit my entire 20s at all.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm pretty much the same, after the university, it was pretty much forgotten.
No, didn't knit in my 20s at all. And then at 30, it was a similar thing. I had a friend, by that stage, friends were all getting married, and the first friends came through were starting to have babies, and I wanted to make something for them, for their babies.
You do want to make something, don't you?
And I thought to myself, I could, I used to knit all the time. I mean, I was, as a teenager, knitting like full Aaron's sweaters and the whole works burger. I actually went through a phase of doing the big sort of farm style sweater, because I was from a farm and from Gisborne, and so I did those for years, and then just literally put the needles down and went off and had fun, and then came back and thought, I forgot how much I missed this. Now, so you've got this beautiful cabana behind you, and I, of course, like, gosh, I'm trying to think how many years ago it was when I met you. It's been a few now.
Well, I think we met first time, probably we met 3 years ago.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then we met again 2 years ago at
2 years ago.
Unwind.
Yeah, and we had
Yes.
such a good time. And but Mohair, I know, is one of your absolute loves. And you and I have talked a lot about
Obsession, you
Mohair
want to say?
on and off. So talk us through about your love of Mohair, because you do. I mean, you do a lot of knitting, but you have been one of the few people that have really embraced Mohair. And some people just don't get it. Like, I've deliberately worn this because you made this for me, but this hat's also made from Mohair that's not brushed but spun.
Okay, yeah.
So talk us through Mohair, because I know a lot of people are a little bit wary of Mohair, and I think after they spend time with you, they'll feel a little bit more excited about it.
It is a bit funny, Marie, because a lot of people from New Zealand, I'm just trying to direct in here, associate mohair with the 80s or 90s, when the mohair was, let's be honest, quite rough.
Yes, and a lot of guard hair is quite hairy, yeah.
And very, I don't know, seldom probably you'll find a soft, even if they say soft touch, you put it against your neck and it's still shocking. Yeah. But the European mohair was always finer. Even in the 80s and 90s, it was still a very soft fiber.
Yeah.
So every time when I was going back to Europe, because we were trying to go every 2 or 3 years back home to the other home, my luggage will be full with yarn. So I stopped buying clothes and whatever. There'll be some presents for kids and family here, but otherwise, the same like Helene's. There's so many likes, like, the same like yesterday's diary. And I had some good contacts in Europe to get stuff, and I was always coming with a fine. That one, what you have, I think that's a European one as well. I'm pretty sure.
What's the name of this pattern? Actually, someone was asking what the name of the pattern was.
I would have to put a link because it slips of my mind quite now.
That's all right. It's just, so this is, I've got it all pinned up, but it is actually like this beautiful crescent. It's
I will have to put the link a bit later, because it is you can make an umbrella as well.
Oh, and it is what I love, and I don't know whether that you can see on the camera. Hold on, let me hold that up. It's also got beads. Can you see those beads all the way through it? It's absolutely, it's one of my favorites. I love it.
Yeah, but it's so funny. We are coordinated. We didn't
I know. We couldn't believe it, because we just literally, when we got sorted just before we went, I was like, oh, look.
Oh, bad God. Right,
well, no,
so
but
anyway,
that is where, oh gosh, now my dog's decided to play with the tennis ball while we're...
my cat came, but she was just pissed off that I didn't take any attention, so she disappeared. Yeah. So anyway, with this mohair, every time when I was going back, I would bring some. And then, obviously, last year, I couldn't go back anymore. I said, no, I'm just going to import it, because we were very fortunate, and I call it now very fortunate, but 2 years ago, we sold our manufacturing business. We had peat-based products business, and we are very lucky to sell it. Well, it happened. And then we went for a holiday. We went for a surprise Christmas holiday with my parents, and I'm so glad we did go. And we came back and we were contemplating what the next steps are going to be. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And the world stopped. Well, the big world, because when you live on a farm, you are still having stuff around. But anyway, we were just reassessing pretty much priorities, and what's the point to be busy and do a lot of things when you can just take it slower and enjoy the life and enjoy the little things. And I enjoy knitting. So my husband said, well, because I do have a very big craft room, office/craft room, but I wanted a studio. And we decided to go with this wood cabin, and that's why it's called the Cabana, because in Romania the log cabins are called Cabana. So they are in the mountain usually, and just little log cabins. And Diana, mixing a bit of my name and the yarn. So I just had this one morning, we were in West Coast. I was thinking, I know how I'm going to call my cabana. It will be Cabana Diana.
Yeah,
So
fun
I
idea.
asked
I
Patrice,
love
my
it.
consultant, and says, "Oh, I think it's a brilliant name." So I said, "No, we'll go with that." So anyway, we bought this kit set, and my husband built it for me. I was just the boy, handing things and coming with lunch and smoko and coffees and going on the ladder now and then. But no, he's done a very good job. So I imported some mohair from Italy.
So
And
how did it come? Did you import on cone? Did you did you bring it in on cone or did you bring it in balled? How did
it
you
is on counts. It is on big
yeah.
counts. Yes, because importing straight from the manufacturer,
Yeah.
from the mill,
Yeah.
that was the only way I could bring them.
Yeah,
So
and the
it is.
Italians do mohair so well. The
They
Italians,
do have a very big tradition. That's
yes,
what I was just saying. With they are. How could I put this? Because I love New Zealand yarns, and everybody who knows me, they know I love New Zealand yarns. But I think they've got the technology or the plant
oh,
to do
absolutely.
it different.
Absolutely. Well, the thing, so when it comes to this, you're absolutely correct. So when it comes to the spinning industry, there are sort of two centres for manufacturing and machinery, and one
Yeah,
of those, interestingly enough, is in Northern Ireland. Which, funnily enough, is how we ended up. I mean, half the machinery in our mill is from Northern Ireland, but a
yeah,
good percentage of the machinery in our mill is from Italy. And I think it's because of the textile traditions that have
exactly,
always been in Italy, especially in northern Italy.
exactly. Yeah,
They go back hundreds of years, and the Italians, and also too the Italians do heavy machinery. They've done that for a long time. I mean, you're on a farm that tractors and
oh,
all
exactly. All the heavy
yeah,
machinery. That's
so
exactly
there's an
right.
incredible tradition there, and that's hardly surprising at all. And in the from a yarn perspective, there's a couple of sort of key shows around the world every year. So in the US or for North America, that was always TNNA. If you've ever watched My Time with Ethan, he talks about
Yeah,
that a lot. But of course, the other big show in Europe has always been Pitti Filati, which is in Italy. And
exactly. Northern
yeah.
Italy. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. And I mean, Italy, I know even everything that we've done at the mill, I mean, a lot of the, particularly around mohair, Italy has always been the benchmark. What are the Italians doing? How are they doing it? What's the quality of the fiber? How good it is? So it must be, I mean, gosh, you must be like a kid in a candy store bringing those yarns out. Have you got any handy to show us how they
I
look?
do. I do. I hope the camera is not going to fall. Just give me a wee second.
Yeah.
Hold on. Just bring some. So I want to show you when I had to select the colors.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm going to put this down so people can see. Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
So how do you select? So I had a very, very hard time trying to select colors because I want it all, but
Yeah.
I don't have a sponsor. So yes, so I'll just show you one of my favorite now.
Oh, look at that.
So that's one of the new ones. I do have a lot of very sort of natural colors,
Yeah.
but I do have some pops because everybody
Yeah.
needs some pops of
We've
color.
just got our new Donegal tweed in, and one of the colours is called Dariana. That with Dariana would look
I do
amazing.
have quite a few colors that will go so well with a lot of Skeinz yarn because
Yeah.
you see this mohair on its own, it is very, very fine. So
Yeah.
it's fine. They call it 2-ply,
Mm.
but it looks to me like 1-ply.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to do it on its own, it is a little bit of a challenge.
Yes.
But that's done on its own.
Yes. And that's where the blocking comes into play, isn't it? You sort of knit it
Exactly.
and you think, wow, but it's the blocking that just
But
transforms
you
those
see, I'll
garments.
just show you another one. What I'm doing now, simple. Just that's called the Black Widow.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So I just started. It's going to be again just a wee throw over, and it's just on its own, and just a simple stockinette rectangle.
Yeah.
and I'm using 4.5 millimeter needles. And you don't need any lace on it. It's lacy enough for this.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of my stuff, what I made, just hold on a second. I used.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So this mohair mixed up with Southlander. I used a lot of the products, the garments what I made, so accessories what I made. I'm using something quite humble and modest, like Southlander or cozy.
Yes.
And it's just a completely different.
Well, see, I had this conversation with Patrice on Wednesday because she had cozy with the mohair, and the difference. I said to her, the difference the mohair makes onto those more, as you said, humble or rustic yarns is quite incredible.
Absolutely.
And the fineness of that mohair that you had, and that's the beautiful thing. Like even putting that with something like the tweed, it just adds this absolute subtle halo across everything. So you don't.
I think so. So I used, as I said, quite a wee bit with New Zealand yarn. So most of the stuff what I used mohair was mixed with something. So you can mix it with starting from 3 ply. Got some. That's pearl. I just had my thing collapsed, but that's typical Diana. So that's just, I was too serious. So this one, it's one of my neutral one with pearl.
Oh yes, fantastic.
I think it's Amuri or the light blue pearl.
Yep. So pearl is for those that don't know pearl.
Pearl, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There it is. There.
Amuri.
And pearl is a 3-ply Suri yarn, Suri alpaca. And
yes.
That would go
so this it's absolutely beautiful, and it's just. I mean, pearl on its own is beautiful.
Yeah. But
with a wee bit of mohair, it's just gives a wee bit of extra luxury.
Absolutely.
I used it with a Southlander cozy, some of the Loyal when you had the Loyal on special on sale, Loyal 3 ply. And then I made a top just the other week with Outlaw Bohemia worsted.
Wow.
And I didn't know if it's going to show any, a bit of fluff.
Yeah.
Extra fluff, because Bohemia is fluffy enough.
Yes.
But it just changed it again. So it does work with a bigger, heavier weight as well.
Wow.
So, so I got a big pile of stuff just collapsed.
That's right. So people, because thank you, Kathy.
Yes, I can't really see.
No, that's right. Kathy's just gone and popped up the link to your designs and Ravelry. But if people are wanting to find your mohair and stuff, they obviously, when COVID wasn't around, you have the Cabana open, but have you got is it online? Are you online as well?
It's just on my Facebook page because I'm pretty hopeless and I don't need to have my website, but I don't know when. I've seen a t-shirt the other day just online with I put the pro in the procrastination. I need a t-shirt. I absolutely need that t-shirt.
Oh, look, that online. So I know I can completely appreciate that. And I had another question earlier on is they wanted to know what you were knitting when you were sitting there knitting.
Okay, so what I'm knitting, I've got a few projects because I can't have just one. So I'm doing, this is very simple vest. Mm-hmm. It's called the Duo Reversible Vest. And it's by, trying to think the name of the lady. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. She's Spanish, and it's Marta Purcell or Purcell. But it's a very interesting
construction. It looks like a really.
So you start from obviously the one end front.
Yeah.
And you've got all the decreases for the arm holes and the neckline, and then you go with the back. But I had to cast on for the neck, and I don't know if you can see. I've got the neckline is going to be continued and sewn on it. I think I lost your.
No, I'm on mute because the courier has just arrived. Can you hear my dog?
Okay, so that's a very. So this one is done in black pearl. I just dropped some stitches. Typical. black pearl. Which one is it?
Right, hopefully the dogs have stopped barking. That poor driver, I swear.
The Skeinz. The
Oh, yeah,
epic
so that is the
Mohair.
that's the Black Pearl Barbosa, isn't it?
Yes, it is. The black pearl Barbosa and
fabulous.
the Skeinz, the epic Mohair.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be just nice and warm. And
Oh,
it's,
wow,
it's just
yeah.
very simple, but it is reversible because you can have the stockinette on one side or the other, as long as I have my ends woven in. I don't do it as I go. And then I've got, I have to show you something else because we are talking about mohair.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had this bag done for Ken and now what color do you think this will look like? Very yellowy?
Yeah, it's lovely and vibrant.
But then you add some magic.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful rich tealy color.
And then
wow, look at that.
Completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And see, Stephen West, he does this a lot. You know, you see singles that he has and he adds a mohair to it. And so does Stephen B, both the Stephens.
Yeah.
And it just creates this whole different dynamic and color and dimension.
Oh, for whoever hasn't tried, I mean, Skeinz, the Whispered Fine, has got some gorgeous colors. And I did get quite a few colors. And I'll just show you quickly if I don't drop. Do we still have some time, Marie?
Oh, we've got tons of time. We've got tons of time. Someone was asking of a tour of the cabana. Now we don't know whether we're going to be able to do this because every time Diana picked up the camera, the phone before the camera would turn itself off. So that's why she's got it sitting there so we don't lose her. Oh, I love that.
So this one will be maybe a new pattern, but this is done in Cozy, the pink one. I can't remember now the name. Magenta and the
Rejoice.
The hot pink mohair.
Yeah, Rejoice.
Whispered Fine.
Yeah. Wow.
I can't remember the name either. I'm bloody hopeless.
Yeah, I think that one's Rejoice.
I think it is, yeah. So this is a very long, big sort of scarf.
Wow.
But look how bright it is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
My nose red.
Oh, so, that's glorious.
Yeah, so that's just with that whisper.
So
that's
what size? So I'm dying to know, what size needle did you do that on?
For this one, I think it was 6mm needles.
Yeah. So then that would fly off the needles.
Oh yes. Yeah. So when I use the Whispered Fine and the Cozy, I use 6 or 7.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what I'm needing.
Yeah.
6 or 7mm needles. But then I'll just show you again. I hope I'm not making anybody dizzy.
Yeah, sure. Teresa's asking, and I can tell you this, Teresa, when you're mixing the yarn names with the Cozy. So in Cozy, there are 3 colors that we did direct matches for, and they were the green, which is a direct match for Verdant. And actually, if you look at the diaries I did on Wednesday, Patrice Guys was actually wearing her ranunculus, I think it was a ranunculus, in that combination. I've also been knitting Aria, which is the bright blue. Is that what you're going to hold up? Yeah, with the Cozy cyan, and they go perfectly together. And the pink, which is the magenta with the Rejoice. Yes. So those 3 are all. So when we created the range, we did the range primarily to match with 2 groups of yarns. One was the Cozy, and the other was the Pearl Luster. So all the very soft colors go with the Pearl Luster. So the Cream Rose goes with Pearl, Murray goes with Horizon, and Petal goes with, Petal goes with Rosaline. So they're also direct match.
This one.
Direct matches as well. Yeah. And and Argent goes with Smoke. So those were the 4 that we did there. But we wanted to do it with the Cozy too, because to allow people, because we understand that mohair is a luxury yarn, even though you're using a small amount of it, because a little bit goes a long way. By having the Cozy there as an option, it just allows it to be more affordable for people too, because it's something that is just so beautiful and so glorious. So by having it with the Cozy, it meant that more people are able to afford it and play around with it.
Absolutely. So I think, combining something such a fine fiber like Whisper Fine or my Mohair with something rustic, it just makes it balance it, makes balance the budget, obviously.
Yes.
And it brings a humble yarn to life and makes it luxurious.
Absolutely. Well, Jeannie's asking how much, if you add a strand of mohair, so like either a Whisper Fine or one of Diana's fine ones, what does it add to the weight of the yarn? Well, that actually varies depending on what you're knitting. So, for example, I'm knitting shoji at the moment, and I'm using a Whisper Fine with a cozy, so that's a 4-ply plus a 4-ply, and I am actually knitting, 2-ply plus a 4-ply, and I'm knitting it as a DK. But as Diana was saying, she knit that before, like the pink shawl on a 6mm needle, which is like a chunky. So it really depends on the fabric that you want to make and whether and how dense or how gauzy you want that fabric to be. And that's the beauty with mohair. It actually creates this incredible latitude. And the other thing mohair does is whether it's bound with just polyamide or silk, that actual wrapped thread actually creates some structure. So if you start going bigger with your gauge, you've got a little bit more structure there being held together, would you believe, by that very, very fine thread.
Exactly.
And the mohair, it's quite incredible. Yeah. What's your favorite? I mean, in terms of needles, I mean, what do you usually knit if you're doing it like a fine mohair with a 4-ply? Do you usually work it like a chunky, like a 14-ply?
Depending on what I'm making, because what you said before, it's exactly right. I mean, a lot of people ask, what weight would you knit it to? I think when you are talking mohair, that could be just me, but when you are talking, including the mohair with your yarn, you really have to be happy with the texture.
Yes.
With the fabric, how dense you want it. If you make a garment, you really want it to be dense enough. So then you are going with smaller needles. But if you make a lot of accessories like me, because I make a lot of ponchos and shawls, for this you really need to have that looseness.
Yes.
You don't want it flat and tight. It needs to be loose, and it needs even this one here.
What's the poncho you've got on, Diana? What's the name of that
This one here, it will be, I know it wasn't the right decision to wear it, but I just wanted to see how fine it is. It is one of my designs. It will be eventually published.
Oh, right.
Maybe.
No, that's right. I was just going to say that's my life. I'm forever wearing stuff, and people say, "What's that?"
We need to get matching T-shirts, but Marie, we bring the pro and the procrastination.
I'm shocking.
So anyway, with this, as I said, you really need to be happy with the texture, and the fabric, because I don't think you can really say now it is a 4-ply or it's a 6-ply or it's an 8-ply or a DK. I think us as knitters, we take things too seriously, and you are always too panicking. Oh no, it has to be DK, it has to be with 3.75 or 4mm needles. No, it doesn't. You just do it. If you get the texture, obviously, when you make garments, I have to be careful what I'm saying. They need to match and fit. But I don't think we should be in so many rules. It needs to be this. No, it doesn't.
That's why Stephen B really loves mohair.
Oh, I love him.
I'm actually going to try and get him on. As he said, it allows him to knit outside of the lines, which is what he absolutely loves. Yeah.
Yes, I was very, very fortunate to meet him in Arrowtown 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yes, because I didn't make it to Cannes, because at that stage we had that business and we were always very busy in August. So now I'm free in August. But anyway, I love him. So please catch him.
I will. I'm working on it.
That's what I'm just saying. We need to be happy and be a bit more relaxed. And just remember, knitting is to relax. So don't make it hard. And as Stephen be saying, there's no mistakes, just variations.
Exactly.
So he's bloody right there, isn't he?
He is. Now,
this one here, Marie.
Beautiful. I love that.
So this one is done with that yak.
Yes.
Remember the yak?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. A lot of my stuff, it's mixed. Some of my mohair with mainly Skeinz yarn. So this is some of my Aurora mohair with the Denali, I think it was called. And this is the Svest. So it's just a very long scarf with holes for arms, and can be just worn around different ways. But yeah, so I think we just have to take it slower and do the Cabana thing.
So when times are normal, when do you have the Cabana open?
Well, I'm because it's more of a studio. I do open, well, when we'll be able to open. I'm opening usually Wednesdays to Fridays.
Yep.
I'm around here most of the time, but that's my sort of opening hours, 11 to 4 o'clock. And I'm just about 40 minutes north of Invercargill. So I'm on the main highway between Invercargill and Queenstown or Tiana. It's been pretty quiet now, so it's good. But, I listened to your chat to Helen yesterday, and I found so many similarities. And I was thinking, oh my God, she's doing exactly what I'm doing. I mean, I don't die, but I need. And with this Cabana, the main purpose was to be a studio and be a small oasis for other like-minded people. And I do have a few regulars on Fridays, and Patrice is one of my best.
Yeah, she said how much she's missing the Fridays.
Yes, well, we don't need a lot, but it's really cool. And I do have a few locals from Winton who are usually coming on Fridays. Friday seems to be the best day for.
But we all know that knit group is not about the knitting.
Oh, exactly.
It's like book group's never about the books.
Oh, exactly. But you see, the thing is with here, as I said, I wanted to be separate from the house, because then I can come in the Cabana and do some work without thinking, oh shit, I have to do the dishes. Oh God, I have to lax. Oh, look at the dust. So it's better now. I'm working, so I'm away from the house and just in the little Cabana and do whatever I do. I muck around, to be fair, but yes. So.
Oh no, that's fantastic. It's
I
really
hope
funny.
I wasn't boring because I talk so much that now.
Rubbish. Rebecca was just saying she bought some mohair to get in the stash from the Epic sale, and she's been nervous to double strand it in case you make a mistake. Just do it, Rebecca. Honestly, throw caution to the wind and just go for it. And even if you want to do something really simple, like I will often things like Stephen West, he's always a great place to start. But either Stephen West or Stephen B, because they both do stuff with mohair. But even if it's something as simple like the boneyard shawl that Stephen West does, which is in a DK, but then you decide to play caution with the wind and you think, well, actually, I'm going to put this on a bigger needle and double strand it up, and you just use it as a guide. Yeah, just don't be afraid to give it a go.
Exactly. That's exactly bringing me back to what I said before. Just relax, do it. I mean, what's to lose?
Absolutely.
So, especially if we got it on Epic sale, the price was insane. So nothing to lose.
Would you like? Should I be naughty? Because what I was doing before you and I caught up, that's part of the reason why I'm out here today. Is for starters, it's very grey here today, very overcast, because I think the weather is going to turn rubbish for everybody over the next few days. But often what happens here in the bay is when it gets very grey before we get wet weather, it actually warms up. So so I could be out here, whereas it's been a bit frosty and I haven't been doing it. But I've been photographing the stuff that we couldn't send to the photographer for the Epic sale. And there's a couple of things that I'm going to show. I'm going to be naughty and show you a couple of things. This is the Mahana. This is our lovely Mahana. This is the colour that we finally came through, and it's not up on the website. But see this with mohair.
Is that the grey?
It is a grey. It's a really beautiful grey. So I've been photographing that. So hopefully I'll get that up today or tomorrow. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you these because I'm actually, being a lover of wrap yarns, as I know you are. I think we've got 5 colours in total, but these were the 2 that came through. And this is a 21 micron shrink treated merino, but look at those. I know.
Oh my God, Marie, you are killing me.
I know, and they're so soft. So soft. And so we've done them all in very, very soft shades. And if you think, and because we wanted the softer shades show off the
Yeah,
texturing of the yarn, so that's why we did that. And they've really come up beautifully. These, oh, it's glorious, utterly glorious. So there's two of the, so this one's called Sweet Pea, and that one is called Periwinkle. And I think there is also a sort of a minty green, a blue, and
ooh,
I'm trying to remember the other color. It might be a grey. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll have those, all of those up for epic sale. But if we won't, it doesn't matter because I'll put them on sale anyway. It's me. You know what I'm
yeah.
like. Oh, and this and the same fiber. So that one's in a wrap yarn. So this is you knit this like a 10 plier in Aran weight, and in fact the essential it's gone raglan, the essential raglan I had on
Yes, yes.
yesterday in the Arfie would actually look great in this. When this knits up into a fabric, it just sort of gives you a slightly textured stocking
With a bit of
stitch.
waving.
Yeah, a little bit of waving, but it's not
Yeah, yeah.
super obvious. And then we've also, and in fact, I think this might be one of the colors as well that this is going into. And then there's also a 4-ply version too. See that, just a little 2-fold 4-ply. That with mohair would be amaze balls. It'd be so good.
Oh,
I know.
it's
So
so
I've been,
funny because if you want to take me a wee bit off, I will lift my pile of stuff that I just dropped,
yes.
and we'll try to have a tour. I don't know if it's
Yes.
going to work,
Okay,
but
let's
give me
try.
just a minute to lift my pile of shit.
Okay, you go. You
Good
go and
shit.
do that.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. You go and do that, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will.
Just a
And I will
second
actually
to...
talk. I'll show people that this while you're doing that, while you're
Yeah.
lifting things up. I have cast on this morning. If you caught up, I couldn't help myself. So I am still working on the poncho, my work in progress poncho, which I'll probably sit. So tomorrow morning, back the track up, Marie. Tomorrow morning, I'm joining. We're going to have the big 2-hour pajama party again with Ethan and Deb at Outlaw Yarn. So I will be over with them for breakfast bourbon, and then they're going to come over and join me here for the Quarantine Diaries. And it is going to be really relaxed again, and a lot of it, it's all about sort of finishing off, having a cup of tea, just chilling out. Hopefully, we'll have some good news after today's announcement. I have no idea what time that is today, by the way. If someone knows,
4 o'clock, I think.
4 o'clock, is it?
I think so.
Okay. But anyway, I've just cast on this, which I have had in my.
Yeah, excellent.
I know, well, 2012. I can't believe that's how old that's been. It seems like, only seems like yesterday I bought it, but I know I bought it when it first came out. So I've cast that on in this.
Oh, gorgeous.
I know. It's funny, I'd initially thought about the lime, but then that's the problem. So I had a pack of lime, and then I had
Sorry, my bum.
that's right. Then I had a pack of one of every color, and this Remore really speaks to me. And part of the reason I did it is I've got a lot of limey sort of stuff in the wardrobe already, and I chose this because it's got the natural tones with all those sort of like reddy terracotta flecks in it, which of course, when I'm not sort of doing colors like this is my other happy place. So right, I'm going to make you nice and big, and hopefully we can get the tour. So I'm going to do this and see if this works.
Can you still see me?
Yep, I can still see you.
I'm going to try to change.
Oh yes,
Hold
that's
on.
worked.
Hold on, I'll be...
There you go, track go. Oh, gone, come back. We can hear you.
Here we are. Hold on to go outside. I'm trying to go very slowly because...
Hopefully it will come back. We were doing this before, so it just didn't like being moved. But then once she stopped, there we go.
Have I lost you? Oh,
no,
did we
we're
sign
back. In? There we go. Oh, gone again. Oh, thank you, Pauline. She's popped in there 3 p.m. for me. Thank you very much for that. Oh, 3
Oh,
p.m.
okay.
Everyone has. Michelle, Helen, thank you. I'm hopeless. I've gotten to a point now that I've even stopped watching the news or anything. I'm sort of living now my little, well, especially yesterday. I was feeling a little bit yesterday. So I did live in a little bit of a bubble yesterday.
Can you see me? Can you see the stuff?
If you stay still, very still, hopefully.
I've got alcoholic hands. If we are going to be in lockdown for more, I'm going to be even more alcoholic than I am. Can you see it?
No, it hasn't. No, it's gone back to how it was before. Oh, blow. That's right. We tried. No.
Oh,
we did
bugger.
try. Oh, bugger.
Hold on. Can you see me?
No. Shan, is it? Hi, Shan. How are you? So good to see. Oh, there you are. Yes, we can see you now. Yay.
Okay, I'll just try to do this right then.
Oh, there we go. That's working. We can see that. Look at that.
Okay, so I forgot to say all my patterns are 50% off today.
Oh, yay! And that's through your Facebook page. Oh, you've got to shimmy down this way. You've got Gladys.
The patterns are on Revelry.
Yeah.
And no code needed. So that's all 50%.
That's easy. On Revel, excellent. So if you're on Facebook, I know that got dropped into the comments a little bit earlier on by the wonderful Kathy. So awesome, 50% off. Excellent. And if you swing back around the other way, hopefully we might get you back.
No, keep losing.
No.
Can you see my colors?
Oh, look at that. Oh, this is making me so sad again because, of course, all of this, everything she's showing you was going to be coming up to Knit August Nights. In a way, there's some good things there because I just know I would have spent far too much money, Diana. I really would have. I do this. Luxury yarns like that is actually my Achilles heel. It's, yes, definitely. I just love it so much. And
no, lost you.
Can you see me again?
No, can you?
I can hear you.
My mom.
I love it. It's like,
I'll tell you something funny. Whenever I talk to my mom on Skype, the first 5 minutes is, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Oh, that is so funny. Right. Well, I just want to thank you so much. Hopefully it'll pop back because we'll talk because it just comes back on again.
Okay.
It is great news. Thank you everybody for coming in today, and a huge thank you to Diana. So Perfectly Imperfect Twists. You'll find Diana on Facebook, also too on Ravelry for all her designs. This has been fun. I've really enjoyed this. And as I said, tomorrow, I will be joined. Well, I'm going to join the team over at Outlaw Yarn as we do on Saturday. Saturdays is always pajama party day, so I will be there with the team for the pajama party, and then they're going to come and join me here after that. And then on Sunday, you'll probably just get me solo, and then hopefully, depending on what happens at 3:00 today, we'll know what's going on for the sale. The can sales. So at this stage, I've got everything moved until to start Monday. So, and I will let people know either by newsletter or social media if we're all good to go. If we're still in level 4 for a little bit longer, I will, if we're in level 4 for a little bit longer, I will make sure that I let you know what's going on so you know when things are going to start. And all the orders that we've got, we do, as I said, we have had got some blankets at work there that you are able to purchase, but it's also meant that we've been able to at least pick and pack all the orders that are there. So as soon as we get the green light to be able to send those out, they will be on the courier and away. So everything hinges on 3 o'clock today. So thank you again to Diana. She's been absolutely wonderful. And then next week we'll see what next week will bring. I'm sure. I mean, I'm going to keep going probably through level 3, or at least level 4 in the for Auckland anyway. But until then, have a great rest of day. Enjoy your Friday. I'll be back here tomorrow over at Outlaw Yarn at 10 o'clock. So until then, take care.